All right, so back to this. Uh March 3rd, part what, 56 or 7? One of the two. All I know is that in the last part we actually ended up making it to the bad we now know is the bad ending for yeah, this part 57. The bad ending for Yuri's round. I mean, it's coincidentally enough that was uploaded what, Monday, and this is now Friday. Again, back from work, so it's able to do this. I was kind of glad that I hit the end, or at least even though it was the bad ending, right? I somewhat again, I really was not confident that we were gonna get the good ending. And I had somewhat of a sneaking suspicion ever since their argument. I'm like, okay, I think we've hit the point of no return. This is probably shaping up to be, bad, maybe neutral route ending at best. So at least in terms of that, right? That's what that comes down to there. So anyway, that's the big thing there. But beyond that, what that means for this and then us and then the series moving forward, specifically for Yuri's route, is again, and this is because unlike say Sayori's route, it wasn't fairly obvious, which ending we were on track to get. And so I can't really go back and game kind of the choices there. So the big because it's really not obvious, really not apparent. The only choices that I guess have actual and because here's the thing. Ever since this, point in time, we've had no choices. And this was before their major argument. So every choice, every single choice you have is like before the breaking point. And then from that point onward, you have zero choices. So it's like all your choices better be made before then, better count, right? Compared to like, let's say Sayori's where it's like, okay, you have choices that you can make when again, things aren't going well. It's just again, it's something where like it is something that really ticks me off and like irks me there is that it's like we really have zero choices after this point. But I guess that means we just need to make the most. But again, out of the ones before, the ones that there's really not that many that I think have meaning. Because I think similar to Sayori's, like let's say all the non-ski choices really probably only impact that side story or like side like plot involvement with Natsuki. So like that would be what this choice, this choice, and then this choice. So there are choices like I don't think this choice matters. I don't think these two matter. Like if I had, my best guess, I think this is probably the only one that matters because that leads to this. And then this is probably the other one that matters. But this one I don't think fucking matters. But it's like, was again, it's just something where it's like, who knows? So that's why I'm literally just gonna go back and go through like every single art choice. I don't know how many parts this will take, especially because once we do get on the other sort of what would you call it, like ending or path, it'll probably take like the good ending, right? Because again, so right now we're only 1 for 2. We got the good ending for Sayori and the bad for Yuri. I'm not gonna bank on there more than two, be more than two, but again, the big thing there is just who knows, right? So we'll see about that. But beyond that, it's like, the big thing there is just like, yeah, we'll see because I'm literally just gonna work my way backwards. Not even gonna try and game it like Seawor's route. Just gonna work my way backwards, and at some point we'll reach the good one. But again, until that, like let's like for example, which one did we go first? We went fucking dude. This is literally the exact same. This choice literally does not yeah, this choice literally, unironically, does not matter. It literally makes zero fucking difference. Okay, this is the exact same. This is literally the exact same because it's so this choice literally did not fucking matter in the slightest. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let it roll till the end because it really is. Oh wait, no, 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 stop. I need to fucking, make sure that this video doesn't get destroyed. So I was gonna be, is it okay? Never mind. That's why I'm like, okay, is this actually okay? Never mind. It's just because of the fucking dude. Really, the fucking alarm. Oh my god. But because I just want to show and emphasize how much time passed between that last choice and the ending. And just again, the fact that we really have no choices between that, and especially when shit starts to go downhill, like if you think about it, that's when it would make sense to actually have those kinds of choices. And that's how it's set up on it's just it really is interesting. Granted, I see what they're getting at because what they're doing is, and what they're kind of implying is how you actually shape the, relationship and kind of, their, what would you call it? Their sort of, well, their relationship, but the bond between them is like what'll impact those future, interactions, right? How you shape and develop their characters themselves is what leads to that. But again, the issue there is that it's like you need to remember that it's like again, the whole reason the argument started and why it all went downhill and went to shit was because she was jealous of him spending time with her and trying to get him to prevent that from happening, which is like, I mean, if it was like some random ass, like, because that's the big thing. This one even mentioned in Sayori's route, right? Like, when she was worried about it. It's like it's a mutual friend. And especially in this instance where it's someone who you've known your whole life and have known since you're a child, right? And you're childhood friends there and you have all that history together and how much you mean it. Like you can't like impose on that. And if you do, it's like, you need to learn and like step and like respect those like boundaries, right? It's like, and again, that's the oh my God, that fucking sound effect. And that's, a big thing, right? And that also comes with not spending, all this fucking time with each other, 24/7, right? And that's why we try to get her to spend more time with Nancy, but and then because I really just want to show, like, it really is insane how much time passes and you have like zero control over your choices there. Because we know this is just gonna skip straight to end, right? It's just really is crazy. Again, and I will say overall, like I said, honestly, I think I guess we'll see about the good ending, but overall, I think Seawor's route is superior. Um, and again, I just think again, it's something in the issue there is that it's like because it's just again, it's a similar situation. Like let's say longer roads versus like blue skies. Like I made a video on that a while ago, Black Street Video, probably about 2 months ago. And it's like it's a quality over quantity thing, because Sayori's route feels very much more like okay, yeah. I don't want to say condensed, but more like refined versus this where it's like, okay, it's kind of more like jumble, more of like a mess in terms of what we've got. And I mean, we'll see the good one, but it has also way more just sort of what's the term, like pet peeves or like stuff that I can nitpick. So again, don't think this. Maybe this will make a difference. So, but this is again. So, bitch, I was like, why is that? Buffering. So, but I honestly don't think this makes a difference. I think the one that might potentially make a difference is this, but who knows there, right? It might also be based on shit from earlier. So just kind of who knows there. So anyway, right? We'll see that. So just again, honestly, I don't think it makes a difference. So this is just I think this is just gonna be, what would you call it? Yeah, so I kept well, that just means more for later, right? So uh it's like when did so he literally said the same thing, when it came down. So okay, is this the same? That's why I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the same. At least I remember that, his line staying there. So again, and I guess the difference now is she's talking about Natsuki there, right? So that's the big thing again. So okay, and then this is literally the same. Okay, never mind. Wait, no, this is the same, but for whatever reason we can't skip it. So I guess who knows, but maybe again, there's more there. So okay, yeah, and then this is getting up. So they did end up talking about, but this is getting to where they were earlier. So again, so literally the same. And we'll just skip to the next choice. So it's like, yeah, so literally this made zero difference. So again, like I said, my best guess is that that's the choice that makes a difference, and we fucked up with that. So, but again, just literally who knows, right? Again, so and we'll skip to that point. Then I'm just gonna make my way back because it honestly is like who knows there. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then this gets all so. Literally zero difference. Again, and one of my biggest pet peeves, again, and I don't want to think coincidentally, I think longer rows is better. It's like all these choices that make zero impact and make no difference whatsoever. But again, so let's again, so we'll see what honestly, this might not even make a difference, but I definitely think we picked the wrong choice, you know, um, the first time around, but it wasn't wrong reasoning. It was just still ended up being the wrong choice. But at least you didn't blow up what would you call it? Blow up on us this time. But again, so okay, so maybe this literally was just the wrong fucking choice. So that honestly could be what it is, but again, right? We'll see there. So we'll see what that comes down to. But I guess we'll see, how much we can skip. So again, so this is definitely a more positive outcome than the previous one. So again, that's what that comes down to there. So let's see. And yeah, so they're definitely a more positive outcome. But again, the question being is that will that actually impact anything? I mean, who knows? It's like we can still skip this so far, so no difference. Oh my god, this fucking chick. So no difference whatsoever now. But again, it'll be interesting to see when the skip stops. I'm assuming it'll stop at least once, but it'll be interesting to see when it does. And like, I guess so. The big thing here is I'm gonna keep going till what would you call it? I'll need to wait. I still should have nudity. At this point, it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna skip past it. But again, so at least in terms of that, and again, this still happens. And then again, so the next choice will be just I don't think the combination is gonna make a difference. So, you know, this let's just go with that because I think that's more, productive. So and that's overall bad there. So but I guess we'll see. We'll see if this ends up because this is the one that I think will make a difference. But again, just who knows? That's kind of the big thing there. We'll see when it stops or if it does. Because so and again, to be fair though, nothing happens until after that. So it's like again, we'll see if like shit's actually different or ends up changing there. So it's just we'll just need to get through all of this because right now it's literally all the same. But you know what would be funny and what would be the biggest fucking fake out is if it was like Fallen Angel and this was really the only outcome, right? That would actually be that would be pretty legendary. Like I would put this above Zero Draw if that actually ended up being the case. That'd be pretty crazy and wild there if that was literally the only outcome or ending. But I don't know because in the again, that's part of the issue is that nothing would seemingly change until after that last choice. So please tell me I have that enabled. I'm pretty sure. Oh my god. Okay, just skip past it. Whatever. So it's just I still find that funny as fuck that it got two fucking, pictures in the gallery. It's like 2 out of 3. It's like, yes, this is 100% vital and pivotal to her story round plot, right? And right. So I just so who knows? Honestly, I can see it going either way because I do think that if there's anyone that would make it do, but maybe it really does come down to those earlier choices. But again, who knows until I actually get through it. So yeah, because right now it's literally all the same. That's why it's like, but it's literally all because we won't know until, so and that's why I'm just working my way back. So again, this is all the same. Yeah, that's all the same. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if I don't think there'll be anything different with Sayori, but because she had a bit of, side story and plot, but it was really only that one interaction where they spent that time together. But again, who knows there? So at least in terms of that, it's like really so yeah, it's just and again, overall I will say though, because like I guess comparing this to like other Yuri mods, like again, Fallen Angel, Outcast, even longer roads. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember Yuri's around longer. So okay, so this argument still happens, right? But I guess question there is, what about after, right? So it's quite possible that this argument happens regardless, is whatever that happens afterwards might be up for debate. But again, who knows, right? We'll see. So far, it's all the same. But again, I guess comparing this to other, again, I just don't remember Long Roads. I will say though, I think, and again, this is still the same. I think Outcast is probably the best, and especially with how they ended up. Honestly, I really like the character of the bully during Outcast, right? And kind of the revelation that they had a similar, I guess, life or experience to Yuri. But I'd say Outcast overall my favorite. Fallen Angel, again, it wasn't a bad Yuri. I mean, it won the award for it. It was just kind of how they like portrayed the rest of the characters and how it just basically just portrayed the rest of them like shit. It made a decent Yuri mod at the expense of literally the rest of the characters and the entire story and plot of the fucking mod. But it's like, and again, this I'd say is like, well, we'll see what the good ending ends up looking like. But so this is all the same. So it looks like this choice didn't matter. Um, again, this is all the same. So yeah, failed, still got the bad in it. I was again, I said like 50-50 for this, but so let's go back here, again, right? So let's see, we'll see if it actually happens, it's like, so yeah, we'll see if it actually ends up happening. So again, that's literally fine. It's literally just, that's why I'm like, dude, it's like, it's literally a fucking phone call. Like, dude, it's over the phone. Just say it's poor connection, like bad fucking, connection. It's like, you know, so I guess literally, so it honestly may just be a combination of those. Because again, we took a more proactive, I don't want to say serve, but definitely more proactive approach. So the thing there is that, dude, this fucking chick, again, what it comes down to is that, so that those earlier choices are the combinations or sort of, the what's the term? The fucking dog, dude. The It's not a combination. Sort of the sequence of those might actually make a difference. So, or not collective. What the fuck? Oh yeah, this fucking dream. It's not collective. It's not conglomerate. Or I guess yeah, the collective is the term. Maybe the collective of those early choices is what makes that difference. But again, we'll see because we're still just skipping through up until this point. But again, it's like so, and again, this is where you catch her. So this is before, like, the only potential time would make a difference is literally just before he even fucking, which is pretty crazy. Again, that's pretty crazy and wild. Like, again, I see where they're going, and I see like what they're doing because basically what they're trying to portray, or I guess sort of signify, or what's the term, sort of indicate to us is that okay, the shaping and development of that impacts, decisions and what ends up happening later on. So what that comes down to is it's like, the big thing there is that it's like, again, what that ends up coming down to is that, I mean, but the issue being if he didn't just make blatantly like terrible fucking choices later on, right? That's literally my one big critique of Relapse is that the mod could have literally concluded on fucking Friday, but for whatever reason, MC purposely, it seems like you purposely and artificially create conflict, or at least with the writing, so that they could extend the mod. Okay, so this is a difference here. This is something, to what would you call it? To this is actually interesting. So this is something to, to note there, like sort of don't quit to, what's the term? Not indicate, but again, that, so now based on that choice, he's instead going to do it with her, right? So again, so this is interesting. So we haven't had this conversation. So this is actually completely different. So that's what that could, this is interesting. So, and again, so yeah, he's never actually, okay, never mind. So this is, wait, so okay, never mind. This is all the same. I don't know how, or I guess he came to her house anyway, but instead of her asking him, it was kind of the inverse. Again, it'll be interesting, but not skin. So again, so they're actually having lunch together, right? So that's actually, what would you call it? So this is different because I'm pretty sure it was only him that came in earlier, which is interesting. So again, that's why it's like, because now it's both of them. That's interesting. That's interesting. So again, right, it'll be interesting to see what would you call it? again, right? What would you call it? So again, this is interesting. So you can kind of see now what they're trying to do or portray is that again, those earlier choices and how you development as well as what's the term formation of a relationship is like influencing what happens like later on. But again, it's still it'll just be interesting to see because right now not that much is different. We just know that there are differences at this point, but again, who knows, right? We'll see. So and then this we can oh wow, we can't actually skip this. So oh yeah, because again, you're right. So, what do you mean who likes PE? PE is like the best subject, dude. Like fucking Christ. Like literally, because even if you're not like that physically active, you can literally just sham, like not fucking do anything during PE, right? It's actually hilarious. Like you don't need to actually do exercise during PE. Let's be real here. So for me, I always did for my sports and athletics, but it's like you don't actually need to do that shit, right? I knew like one of my friends, like he was very much not an athletic person, He just that just wasn't him, right? He was just like had hard shit that he was focused on. But like he shammed her. And it's like, I respect that. It's like if it doesn't impact or like sort of what's the term? Apply or relate to you, then why put in the effort? So it's like, it's just yes, that's kind of a negative, pessimistic mentality, but still like, and we'll see. So yeah, so this is interesting. So again, right? So this is, and now we can skip this. So it'll be interesting if so. And then this is interesting because before he offered to him, I'm pretty sure. So I think what this is implying and what we're saying is I think we took the wrong approach in being more proactive and more, what would you call it? I don't want to say assertive, but more proactive and more sort of dominant there. I guess what we really need to do is kind of, be more hands off and laid back there. And then that would again lead to her being more, sort of independent and more, what's the term? Not free thinking, more assertive for herself, right? And proactive on her end. And then that again leads to a more, I guess, less toxic, but more what would you call it? A functional relationship, I guess, in that sense. But again, my initial thought process was we need to get and establish that first, right? And that more so the issue with that is what would you call it? It would come down to it would come down to what would you call it? Again, from there on out, then it would be more so about dealing with her own issues, right? So kind of like Zero Drop on. Again, I see what they did, I kind of get what they're what would you call it, you know, what would you call it? I get what they're trying to do there. So I don't mind it. But again, it's like, let's see. Damn, I've not read, this interaction at all, but it's like we get the point, right? Again, it's like really, but again, so who I'm not sure if we're on. I don't know if we're still on track for the good ending though, or well, I guess still on track for the bad, or if we're actually on track for the good one based on how this interaction's changing. But again, so funny enough, looks like it may have actually literally been this choice because even earlier ones, I don't know if they would. I guess what I'll do is if it does lead to the good one, I'll go back to like the first one and then just do the other ones because chances are they don't matter, right? If this is the one that matters, I've kind of known or learned that, right? That it's like, what would you call it? Because that was the case with Sea Draw. It was really only one choice that mattered. Technically two if you get that first one wrong. But again, it's like, okay, now we can skip this. So yeah, we'll see how this impacts later decisions. So and again, we're just gonna go with here, right? Because it's literally the same. So again, right? So that's what that comes down to. So anyway, yeah, we'll see there. So again, because I'm not gonna like try to mix match those later ones. We're gonna try to go for the more optimal ones. Um, but for that, right? It's like, what would you call it? Yeah, the thing there is again, at least for the earlier ones, though, we'll switch them up. So change them around. And so far this is all the same. I guess it'll genuinely be interesting to see if I'm not sure. I give it like 50-50, same for the last one. maybe it makes a difference. What that'd be hilarious if it was literally only one ending for the route. That would be like, honestly though, that would be pretty good. Like I would be like, I would be surprised. Granted, no, oh my god, stop! Please tell me, am I gonna need to do this every single fucking time? I guess yeah. Let's. Well, I guess because I didn't do it last time because I fucking forgot. But you know, I find that so fucking hard. Like I'm not gonna be able to get over that. That's gonna be the one thing I remember about this. Who knows there? So yeah, it'll okay. So and then she's referring to Natsuki here. So again, so it is, and then again, she's talking uh again about Natsuki here, right? So, but here's the thing: this is still good. It's similar to again. What would you call it again, right? Because this is the big thing. That's the main issue in their relationship. So it seems like really what we need to do is be more hands off as opposed to hands on, right? Compared to say words, but again, who knows there, right? But it, I guess it is a good sign that shit's still, what would you call it, changing. So like this late on. So and after that last choice. So who knows what'll happen here? Honestly, I give it like 50-50. There. So it's kind of funny that that's why I'm saying it might be the conglomerate or collective of those earlier choices that make a difference. Um, let's see. But again, we'll see how many. Maybe it's just this one. Maybe it has to be like all of. Well, I won't say all of them, but well, probably actually would. But again, who knows there? So if so, that'd actually be that'd be hilarious if we're still on track for the bad ending. But again, because I'm actually genuinely curious, and I'm not sure I'm gonna stop until I'm just completely done with her route because I genuinely want to see. And again, it makes more sense, right? Kind of again understand now. It's just yeah, the big thing there being that it is just my main issue is still the fact that we have zero choices from that point on. Not the fact that we have zero choice, but more so that he just does some like real like terrible shit. Like he wasn't making optimal like decisions. So okay, so they still have this argument, right? So this is the same there. So I guess we'll just see what follow on. Yeah, so this is just still the exact same. So I guess we'll see what their second. What the fuck? Hold on. Wait, how did so what's the difference? Wait, what the fuck? Hold on, it's like, then how do you wake up with a fucking, uh so it was literally the oh, okay, wait, what the fuck? Or was it actually fucking Yuri? Okay, this is different. This is And this is interesting because there's seemingly zero fucking I don't think there's any difference in this is weird because I'm pretty sure there wasn't any difference in like interaction between him and her between either of the two. So it doesn't really make sense why what she'd be doing now would be different. But that's why it's like that. And I know it's like that was weird. I figured if anything, maybe it'd be related to her, but that's weird that this is different despite the fact that seemingly their interactions haven't even been different you know, since then, but where's this fucking going? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Well, it's like, you know, what the fuck's he done? Hey, I mean, I'm fucking, what would you call it? Like, she says it's like, he's like stupid, right? But I did something similar at a water park with a group of friends, and we like pay each other who could fucking leave last to use the bathroom. That was so fucking stupid. But again, right? That's true, right? So yeah, it's like, hey, but but that's what I don't understand. Why is this different when his interactions with her seemingly haven't been different at all? So it's like, and where is this like going, right? What is the point of this? So, what is this coming down to? Okay, what the fuck? Hold on. Stop. They're getting into some like real shit here. It's like, wait, hold on a second. Where is this? Where is this going? They're getting into some it's like and this is cool because I guess we're getting more backstory, right? I'm hoping through all three of these we can actually get some sort of like semi decent. And again, it kind of sucks because it seemed like you know Monica's was supposed to focus. The focus is going to be more on his father there, but again, you know we're just getting some backstory here, right? Put up with what? He seemed to be a decent father. What was there to put up with? That's the big thing. You can't portray him as like this good parent and then be like, put up with what? Yeah, that's why it's like, what the fuck is going on? There's no okay, but what happened? We don't know what happened. We still don't know what happened. Like, and he was a seemingly good dad, so it's like you can't use that, and it's something where it's like, again, like from both Sayori as well as Monogatari, like he's gonna be a good dad, good father, and was still semi in the picture, but it's like again, like I guess maybe it's, again, depends on their portrayal, like each like like each route writers, kind of take on it, but it's like, so okay, but what so they were arguing about what? Like what was well, okay, but what is it? We still need to know what you can't just like say this and then not give us the specifics. Like we need to know like at least an event which kind of triggered things to end up this way. So like you say this, but he was a good dad. Like that's what I don't understand. So okay, and how okay, but here's the thing. So from and then this actually jogs some memories. So seemingly what we heard was that they were both working, but she was also the one kind of taking care of the things at home, but he was still kind of the main breadwinner. So again, it's just who knows? Like, because it's like we still don't have the full picture yet. One assisted I mean, one, like, let's, okay, this isn't even like, me, like, women initiate divorce more often. Like, this isn't like a surprise, right? This shouldn't, like, I would have expected it to come from her. So it's like, but again, here's the thing, because it's like also, like, you're the one who's disgruntled, you're going to be doing it anyway. So, okay, but we still need, like, you can't just be dropping this on a, also, where is this coming from? This is fucking out of nowhere just like literally out of the blue when there was seemingly zero interaction difference between him and her. And the only real changes happen between, him and Yuri, but like all of a sudden this is coming out of nowhere. It's like, what the fuck is like going on? Okay, but yeah, he's not a like it really doesn't. I'm not sure if it's a lack of consistency, which is weird because she seems, at least given that she's come back on both of the routes, she's seemingly gonna come back on Natsuki's. Like that seemingly, similar to like let's say Halloween, Christmas, whatever, right? It's a cross like, route event. It happens consistently during each route. It's what's the term? There's a better term I had for it's a consistent like event across the route. So but it's like and they all seem to have a similar backstory, similar, what would you call it? At least a piece of the puzzle too that their relationship, right? And what ended up happening there. But the issue being they don't seem to be consistent. They don't really seem to, cross over well. So, but okay, so what the fuck is going on? Like, we still need, like, there's still not a clear picture of what happened. So we still need to know what kind of triggered them going from again, the flashback we saw in Sewer's Route to, a seemingly happy family with a good mother and father to them being disgruntled about their work and home life to them actually fucking, initiating and filing for divorce, right? Okay, and then like their arguments there. Dude, like, okay, but what was the issue? Because we still don't know the issue. Like you argue that's a normal fucking thing. Go to therapy, right? Go to couples therapy, counseling there. It's like there's got to be more to it. Like you can't tell me that this is all that happened. Dude, his old ways, what the fuck? So was he again, there just seems to be a real lack of consist and it's interesting that we're getting this now. Like this is when I least expected us to get some fucking backstory or like, some what's some like, you know, backstory, like sort of, dialogue there, but it's like what we still don't fucking know. We still don't know on my career. But okay, but how like congrats, you get focused on your career, but how often are you separated from your son? I mean, let's be real here, right? That's the general, trade-off, right? That I don't think people realize. Not even necessarily women, but fathers as well, right? Or like, but like again, assuming like a relationship, right? Father, mother, right? It's like obviously, it's like if we look at the nuclear family, it's like okay, dad goes to work, mother stays home, or mom stays home, and then you got two kids, right? You live in a household, have a car, nine to five. Well, yeah, 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 everything that, which is, I guess, the ideal, or more so the sort of, yeah, ideal would be a good term, but that's also like outdated, that's like, or I wouldn't even say outdated, not even obsolete, but more so unfeasible for the average person, just because that's no longer the average, right? But the big thing there is what I don't think people realize is that, and because especially, a woman thing, right? You know, it's not even that they don't want to have kids or that you don't want to be a mother, but it's more so like you forget that by being so career oriented, you know, what would you call it? It's at the expense of you actually taking care of and raising your family. Because again, like I said, it's even the thing with dads. It's like, like, because if you're not working a normal 9 to 5, which is what, like 40 hours, like, because just that's the reality is that that's not a reality anymore, right? Or at least for most or the average, you need to work maybe more, maybe take a second job, it's something to where it's like, again, or if like, because again, that's assuming the bare minimum, or if like, let's say, you're already well off, but you want to earn more and do more, right? Then it's like, okay, is it worth it to take that promotion, which, will take however much more labor, sort of work out of you if you're already well off and earning enough? And the trade-off would be, again, time with your family. Like, again, it's like, that's what that comes down to there. It's like, especially like later on after you already have a high school age son, like, okay, earlier on doesn't really matter. Let's be real here, right? Like when they're in, like, let's say, I'd say like up to even like kindergarten, maybe even the end of grade school, it honestly doesn't matter. But like, for, let's say, like middle and high school, you're gonna want to be in their lives, right? Let's be real here. Cause especially that's a very awkward and turbulent time. But it's like this late on, it's like, is it really worth again? But that's just it's trade-offs, right? There's advantages, disadvantages. But and again, literally what I've been saying, but we still don't fucking know. That's the issue. They're like skirting around the subject. I'm not sure if they want to keep it intentionally vague or ambiguous, but the issue being it just doesn't make sense then. Like, it doesn't make sense why they would really divorce over something like this when they're, again, trying to portray him as not a terrible person, which is, again, seems to be more ambiguous and more, sort of, what would you call it, vague there, but then also like, try to act as if all this stuff happened, but then not explain what happened. It's like, again, it's just like, because also because seemingly the one route where he would have gotten actual like info on his, sort of not necessarily side, but his portion was never finished. So it's like, again, who knows? It's like, but then you're dwelling on the past at that point, right? So, and again, she even knew, right, just based on that. So, but again, that's why it's like, what I don't understand is how this is different, given that he's seemingly hadn't interacted with her any differently. Like, who knows? Who knows? So, but again, why didn't you know this earlier on other routes? Or on, when we made our decisions, that's the question that's being raised there. So, but again, this is interesting. Honestly, here's what I'm going to do though. I'm actually going to end it here and continue it off in the next one. What I will say though is we are seemingly on track for the good ending because the seeming difference there is that similar to Sayori's route, where an argument was inevitable, but they were able to bounce back during the good ending. It's a similar concept here. The first argument at least, was inevitable, but through his conversation with his mother here, right? He's seemingly going to be able to bounce back, and instead of having that second like worse argument, he's actually probably going to give her some space, like Sayori told him to, and then things will end up going well there. But again, it's just really isn't. And again, it's just I don't understand because it's sort of like what's the call? Not a logical fallacy, but sort of like an inconsistency because it's like he hasn't interacted with her any differently than he has, regardless of this choice. So why is this all of a sudden different now? I get it because they want to try to, put emphasis on this choice is what's leading to good or bad. And then, but it's like, or wow, I'm way off this choice, but it's like logically nothing should change. So again, it's a big thing there, but again, I'll continue on with this in the next part, just for now to where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna end it here and it'll be something to where it's like, at least in terms of that, we'll see. And then with that, it's like, yeah, whatever it comes down to, you know, it comes down to. So anyway, right? It's like whatever. So at least in terms of that, um, with that, I think I'm gonna end it, again, this shorter part, but I'm actually pretty fucking busy this weekend. So that's why I'm probably gonna do shorter, more like 40-minute parts. Because I also want to watch Takai-san season 3, which I'll make a live stream video on, but again, I'm just busier this. I mean, still gonna record, right? It'll just be 40-minute parts. Similar to last weekend, definitely won't be a double though, if I'm being realistic, but at least in terms of that, right? That's what that comes down to. With that, I don't really have anything else. So, yep, that's it for this one. See you in the next one.